I will start. Yes, Nir Bergman, Israeli director, welcome to our festival, and thank you for this wonderful film and competition. And my first question is, yes, what's the genesis of this project? What's the origin of this wonderful film?
So I think the screenplay started when Dana Idisis, the talented screenplay writer, asked herself, what will happen when my brother and my autistic brother, when my father and my autistic brother will have to separate one day? And she started writing this screenplay, and she came to me while she was writing it, and I was sort of escorting the writing, and it took us a few years to finance the film. Through these years, as these years went by, her brother was growing up. So a lot of his life came into the screenplay. I think she started writing, he was about 13. At the ending of the process, he was, I guess, something like 18 or maybe 17. And then, so a lot of his character came into the screenplay. For me personally, the film is about fatherhood. This was my I guess my themes finding place in Dana's writing. Together we made the film, and I feel we share this film together. It's both hers and mine, and I'm happy to say that I like it much better than the films that I write myself, because I'm maybe less judgmental, because I share the creation with Dana.
Yeah, it's something. This relation father-son is real incredible, because they found their own small world. It works with a lot of rituals, and
Yes.
this character of Aaron, you've every time his face is so great, with so many expressions, subtle expressions, and I wonder. Of course, he's caring about his son, and but what is it seems there's a lot of psychological motives beyond this care of the son, and what's the profile of this character?
It's obviously true what you say. Um, I guess we wanted the audience at the beginning to think, okay, here's this father. He's a perfect father. Um, he, we share his point of view of life, that he's the only one who can take care of Uri, the only one who can love Uri, that he's like the perfect sacrificer, or martyr. You say martyr, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
So at the beginning, you think that the mother is the bad witch, and that he's a saint.
Mm-hmm.
And we wanted to show slowly as the film goes on, we wanted the audience to understand that this picture is more complicated. And in a way, you can say that his choice to live his old life before Uri came to the world and become, this saint that takes care of Uri, you can say that this is a humanistic choice. But on the other hand, you think maybe he's hiding behind the back of his son, not to see the failure of his career, the failure of his life, the failure of a lot of relationships that he had in life. And as the film goes on, you understand that maybe this character is also a little bit too fragile himself for the world. And maybe he was a little bit too sharpy, too cynical, too someone that you can see through his skin, that too fragile for the world himself. And this is what we wanted to show, because I think I think a lot of parents, and I can share this feeling myself, when our comes to the world, we have a lot of problem of dividing ourselves, you know, to understand where does he start and where does he end, and where do we start and where do we end, and we put um, our vulnerability and we sort of project it on our kids, and 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 in Aaron's case, you can also say that he's completely right, because his kid is so fragile, and his kid is not growing up in the same way as normal kids grow up, and therefore he remains a kid in so many ways. Uri remains a kid and remains fragile. And this why Aaron's arc is so complicated to set Uri free, because he needs to go through his own psychology, as you mentioned, to do that.
Yes, sometimes it seems he also used him like a kind of shield, no? Human
Yes,
shield to defense, or to justify that he have no contacts beside, no?
absolutely. I mean, he diminished his wills into Uri's uh, um, wills, and uh, but it was maybe comfortable for him as well to choose this way, to hide with Uri from the world, living in their bubble, in their small place, and going through their small routine. And of course, it's a little bit tragic because he's a very talented man, and he had maybe lost a big career, and he sort of says, he puts it on Uri. He says it's for when he's, well, when he will have a inner dialogue with himself, he says, well, I did the right thing. I took care of my son, you know. But actually, we think maybe he's a little bit hiding from his life behind.
Mm.
Maybe the kid is a little bit like a shelter, as you said, for him as well. And in this complex complexability, we look at the film and we think about our life and the place our kids take in our life.
Mm.
This was our aim,
Yeah.
anyways. And I guess, you know, as the film goes on and the picture becomes more complicated, and we move to the end, and suddenly the mother let go and let him have it his own way, this helps him to see
Yeah.
what she's saying all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
without trying to do any spoilers for the
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
Yes, but I think it's a natural human thing that, like a father, you see your kids growing, no, get independence, and this isn't sometimes it's tragic, but in the same way, it's also a liberation, no,
Absolutely.
very, no, and the tragedy exists. And when I saw the film, I thought it's a person who will ever be a child, no, every time in his life he will be a child, and he will be a father every time. What's correct. um what are the interests of Yuri? This is a real interesting character in this. Yuri is, he seems real clever because he also hear what his mother says, no. and and she's real, he's fighting each time about this equilibrium, this balance, no, this stability, no?
You mentioned the first scene that the mother comes into the house
Yeah,
and she talks to him. I don't think he really hears her.
yeah,
Um, this is something that we found out in the research, how the dominant parent has like a pipe of communication between him and his child, and that you cannot go through. We saw in our research, we saw a mother and the son also around Uri's age, and we saw how strong, uh, like there was like a pipe of communication between them that you cannot break. They were all the time aware of where each other is, and this is what we try to demonstrate in this scene. That the mother comes and she says, "You're going to have this and this. They're going to be horses. They're going to be other," and the father only says like words. He says forks, plates, and Uri hears only the father. So this is also something that we saw in the research, and we tried to show how how alert are they to one each other, always knowing how the other one, where the other one is, and how the other one is feeling. Um, so yeah, this is something that we met on the research.
Yeah.
For the film.
I think it's very interesting in the film also how society reacts, no? Because you have
Yeah,
some real impressiveness of the station, of the train station, of course, when really you see these faces, you see this mainstream society, how does we and you and everybody reacts in front of this kind of behavior, no? And I wonder what can we like society do in this to maybe to help or maybe to yes just to react, no? And it's
well, I hope after watching the film, first of all, you would be less scared. Second, you would be less judgmental. I think our first reaction is, to step back, to be afraid, not to, and maybe to be judgmental, and maybe you don't want to see, you just want to walk, you know. And I think it was very important for Dana Idisis to show to show the routine of growing up a kid on the autistic spectrum. She didn't want to have Uri like very special or talented in any way, like Rain Man or something like this, just um, to show how the routine looks. And in this routine, you have moments like the train station, which is so hard, and also you have so much love. And we wanted to show everything, and we wanted to show it without we say in Hebrew, without discount. You see, and I guess, I hope that after watching the film, um, if you're not exposed ever to such a relationship between a parent and the kid on the autistic spectrum, you would understand how complicated is the picture, how hard are the dilemmas, but also you understand that what you see is just a picture on the surface, and behind that there is a real bond, strong relationship, communication, all these things that we think that that we don't understand how strong they are. And of course, uh, the huge love that we saw on the research, and of course that is presented in the screenplay already. We wanted to show that.
Mhm. Mhm. There is you told before about Aaron's possibilities to maybe to have more success working and everything, and this is real touching also in the film. This kind of social descent in a kind of time lapse. It's passed every real fast, and we see like a man, a middle class man, social position, is losing every possibility to make all these things. And so is this behind uh, beyond of all the story is a real great story about our fears of existence, a middle class position, Israeli and Western middle class position maybe, and in which way Aaron represents also this type of society in this moment.
Absolutely, thank you for this. You caught the film very strongly. Inside Aaron character is absolutely a lot of criticism towards the modern world. You're absolutely right. I think he's, of course, it's as I said before, it's his character being, not really. Um, um, mm, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the words. I would say he's not like built for this career world, but
Mhm. Yeah.
but actually, who is and how much do we have to keep aside from our inside personality when we need to 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 build our careers and to step into the world and to take place. How much do we have to let go of our sensibility, of our humanity? How much we need to put aside because this world is actually so hard and
Mhm.
can be so cruel. And this is Aaron wanting to save his kid from this violent world surrounding us all. And and of course it's for him, for his kid, but also for himself also. And and at the ending, he understands that this is impossible, that he needs to let go and to let his kid experience things, because although his kid is on the autistic spectrum, he is growing up. And I guess at the ending he will have to think about his life, and maybe to try and come to peace with some people in his life that we met along the way.
Mhm. Yeah. There's all this kind of encounters he have in this with the former colleague from the university, and then with his brother. No, they're all different concepts of life, and
Yeah.
it's yes. But finally, you see this kind of freedom. No, this reflection of freedom also in his face. No, I think
Yeah.
it's quite.
Yes.
The end is one of the spoil without spoiling, but it's one of the both.
Oh, we spoiled the film already, huh?
Okay, but I wonder, I wonder when we saw the film, the real amazing actors like Aaron, Tamara, also, but it's incredible is Yuri. Tell me something about the actor, about the casting, because he make it so authentic. It's incredible. Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it was so scary for me to direct this character, because this is the most scariest thing, because I really loved the screenplay of Dana. I used to cry every time I read it, and I was really afraid that I'm going to ruin it. Also, I know Dana's brother, Guy. I know her father, and I love them very much. It was very important for me to make a film that her father will like and approve. And therefore I was really scared casting Uri, and I was really scared directing Uri. The first 3 days of directing was really like, I was so scared. I was so not sure. But a few things, I guess, helped on the way. First of all, Noam Imber is just um, such a talented actor, really. Um, Noam, from the first audition, we saw that that his techniques is superb, and we asked him where does it come from, and he said, "Well, I grew up near an autistic village because my father was a manager of a place for people on the autistic spectrum, and he had friends because his heart goes to, I don't know, he has a very big heart, and so he became friends with one of them, which is not very like common for a kid to become. And he sort of like, he knew the character from the inside. And right now he's also working in a volunteering in an autistic place, a place for autistic people. And um, and so this was the beginning, the audition. He was very good. But after that, we went to a very big research uh, to because we wanted to we wanted the audience not to see the spectrum, but to see Uri, to build a character that you could all the time think, I know this guy, and I also I can even imagine who would he have been if he wasn't on the autistic spectrum. And all the time to play with this feeling of I don't know if deceiving is the right word, but not to know, when he's putting on the sunglasses and you're not sure. And because I think the father sees him as completely normal. I would say normal again like this because there's nothing that is normal in our world, but you know what I mean. So we all the time wanted to see who is Uri behind the 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 um, the spectrum, and this was the work that we did together. They matched very quickly in the audition. We saw between the two actors, the father and son, we saw a complete match. They were like a father and son in front of the camera. So yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it's real. It's incredibly so. I mean, so how it's possible to make this was real impressive. With time is running now. We have 5 minutes more, and I want to ask you a last question. This you made this film before all this COVID pandemic and the lockdown and everything. How did you spend, like a filmmaker, like a person, this kind of situation, pandemic, and how does it works now for Israeli filmmakers, because the situation is still complicated, no, or no?
Yeah, it's horrible. We shot the film September, just a few months before COVID came into our life. We couldn't finish the film. We couldn't finish it normally. We were supposed to go to Rome for the post-production, and you remember what happened in Rome at that time, at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was crazy. I was laughing with our distributors, with our sales agents, that we're going to be accepted to Cannes Film Festival for the first time in my life, but there will be no Cannes. And this is exactly what happened. We were accepted, but the festival was online only, and I mean it's a horrible experience because the film reaches audience, reaches festivals, but nothing, you don't experience the red carpet and everything. Uh, Although they did invite us this year, and it was really beautiful that we could just experience a little bit of the Cannes Film Festival. And right now in Israel, it's also horrible because we wanted to come out with the film on September, but it cannot come out because regulation are coming back. We don't. People are afraid, and so we are suffering horribly from this situation. But of course, you gotta take it in the right proportion, proportion, because as long as we are okay, and then everything is okay. But film industry in Israel is suffering heavily from the pandemic. Of course, the whole world is suffering, but yeah, our industry is really suffering. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Nir. It's real. It was. Thank you for this movie, and
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I hope the next time we will come to Berlin.
Yeah, I hope so too.
And
Absolutely.
thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.